And today I have my special guest from overwhelm to overflow. C-suite coaching for women who lead on purpose. None other than Dr. Cynthia Coy.
Hi,
Welcome.
thank
Welcome,
you.
welcome. Welcome, Dr. Cynthia on Abstract Essay. And can you please introduce more about yourself to that listeners?
Yeah, so I am Dr. Cynthia Coy. I'm a certified mindset coach, and I help women, specifically C suite women who are momentum focused, overcome overwhelm so they can move into overflow. So I've been doing this for a while now, and I will tell you that a lot of it is from lived experience and my journey, as well as a lot of women I have met and interviewed over the years.
Yes, and thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and wisdom to the world. Dr. Cynthia, thank you, everyone. And today, let's talk about from overwhelm to overflow, redefining success for women in leadership, how high achieving women can move beyond burnout and reclaim balance, clarity, and joy in both work and life. You use the powerful phrase from overwhelm to overflow. For the woman who is currently drowning the overwhelm, what is the smallest, most immediate step she can take today to feel a single drop of overflow?
The single step she can take is to actually pause. So stop what she's doing, and really take some time to reflect on why she's in overwhelm. Like really tapping into those, um, to the reason why you're overwhelmed, whether it's time, whether it's energy, whether you don't know how to say no, you have no boundaries. I mean, the list goes on and on. But,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of times the overwhelm occurs because we are trying to be um, everything to everybody. And in the process of doing that, we deplete ourselves. And so then we have nothing to give because we don't have anything. So the whole point of overwhelm and overwhelm too is it's a stress response, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and we our nervous system lets us know. It gives us signals all the time that hey, you're doing too much. You're trying to be too much, be in 50 places at one time, and we just cannot do that. We are not mechanical machines like that. So, yeah, single step is to stop. Okay, what am I doing too much of? Where do I need to let go of some things, release some things?
Very well said. Dr. Cynthia, the title implies a need to redefine success. What is the
Hmm.
biggest lie our culture has sold high achieving women about what success is supposed to be look like?
For me, I think the biggest lie is that you just got to work really hard, put in all the extra hours, be seen a lot in an organization if you're in corporate. Um, make sure your name is out there. And so what's happening is you're giving a lot to your job and you are neglecting not just your family at home or the community you live in, but your own personal aspects of yourself, like your health, for instance, your physical health, your mental health. Um, you're not looking at your financial health because you're just really you're on a path trying to please other people based on what they determine or define success to be. um, and I think that's the biggest lie is you're letting other people determine what success looks like for you. And um, we we need to kind of change the narrative and basically define success for ourselves. And that may look like not working, 80 hours a week or 60 hours a week. it again, it may look like the dream life that we want. Um, and so you have to make some sacrifices or make some decisions about what you're willing to give up to have that, or otherwise you're going to burn out over time because that's not sustainable. And that's what I focus on, is helping women leaders sustain their success long term, not just in the short term.
Very well said, Dr. Cynthia. When a woman first comes to you, she often believes she needs a better time management, but
Mhm.
you focus on something deeper. What is the real root cause of our of overwhelm that is not solved by a better calendar?
Mindset. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's the understanding the root cause of our own belief systems, and so it's not a matter of I don't have enough time or my calendar is overwhelmed. It is I what what's my mindset about again what I determine as success in my life, and what do I determine as value for my life, and what do I determine as the value that I give others. And so when you're looking at that, it's not about the dollar or the currency that comes in to pay for your services, or that goes into your bank account in a corporate job. um, it is more, are you where you're supposed to be, like really finding out, am I even doing the things that I'm supposed to be doing, or am I just, um, again, chasing after what other people have said? This is what success looks like. So it's really getting down into mindset work, um, and it starts with who you believe you are and what you believe you are worthy of.
Indeed. You talk about reclaiming joy. In your experience, what is the first thing that dies in a high achieving woman who she becomes overwhelmed, and how do you help her resurrect it?
Well, one of the first questions I will ask is, how much do they enjoy what they're doing on a scale of 1 to 10, right? Um, and that can vary, obviously, but I would tell you the majority of the time that there are women who they are very competent, in what they do. So that's not the question, but it's are they really fulfilled in what they're doing? And that's where the joy is. And if you're not really fulfilled, if it's like we're going through the motions, we're, been doing this career because we've been doing it for 10, 15, 20 years, 30 years, um, but you hate every minute of it, right? Or you're just not, you're not as excited or as passionate about it as you used to be when you first started, then that is a sign, that's a signal to say you are not finding joy. And um, that's the thing, you have to learn how to let go, release those things that do no longer bring you joy. I know probably a lot of your listeners probably have heard of Marie Kondo. um,
Mm-hmm.
she's an organization expert from Japan, and she uh, I think Netflix has a series on her. But anyway,
Yes,
she
yes.
talks about finding the joy, and her process, of course, is as you are releasing things and throughout your home, that number one, you thank them, but you release it, because if it doesn't bring you joy, then you release it. And it's the same thing like for women in these positions. If this is not bringing you joy, if a relationship is not bringing you joy, if the job is not bringing you joy, if whatever it is that you're doing, even your community obligations or commitments, if they aren't bringing you joy, you should let them go. So that's step number one. And then I think a lot of times we already know what brings us joy. So it's not really finding the joy. It's, what it is. It's just having the self belief and the mindset to go after it and to pursue that and to embrace it and live it out.
Embrace it, people, and let it go because life is too short.
Very much.
Doctor,
Very much.
definitely, Dr. Cynthia, you help women lead authentically in high stakes environments. What is the biggest risk you've seen a woman take by choosing authenticity over playing the game, and what is the outcome?
Well, it's a risk, right? Like you said, a lot of times I think, you know, there is a high probability or a high risk that if you actually um, follow what your intuition is saying and um, really pursue what you really want to, that you take the risk that you might lose a job, right? Because you aren't, you're being different. You're basically starting to color outside the lines. And so that's a risk that some people, they have to really consider because, security, job security is very important for some people. But on the other hand, sometimes going outside the lines is worth it because depending on the organization you're with, um, whether they're a client or they're your employer, sometimes they can see that that is your strength, is that you're not conforming to the status quo, that you are, you have your own thoughts and you're very innovative. And so I think, for a lot of companies too, like innovation is a risk that we all take, right? It's all
Mhm.
experiment. It works or it doesn't work. And so I think when it pays off, and 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 I'll say this much, like if whether you lost your job or you lost the client or whether it ends up elevating you, it's still a win. It's all about perspective, right? Because
Mhm.
if you were to lose, and I say that loosely, then that's also a confirmation. Then that's not where you're supposed to be. Um, if you win, maybe it's another confirmation that this is you're heading in the right direction. Um, so it just kind of depends on what you can tolerate, and that's the biggest thing is being true to yourself, authentically. You have to have integrity. You have to have values that, as you make decisions, the decisions have to be in alignment with the values that you have. So you have to know what you're going to accept and what you're not going to accept.
Very well said, Dr. Cynthia. And you need an applause for that. Very well said. And thank you for empowering women all over the world. Here on Abstract Essay, we salute you. You
Thank
have a background in the military, a traditionally hierarchical environment. What is the most valuable lesson from your service that you now use to help civilian women leaders command respect without losing their warmth?
you. It's a great question, Daniel.
Thank you.
I learned a lot in my military career. I would say, I think my biggest thing was what my leadership style evolved to, which was collaborative leadership, and what that requires is a lot of listening, and that obviously is what I do as a coach now, right? But
Hmm.
I think it it gives you a respect because you obviously, regardless of the position you hold, you cannot do this alone. And your people are truly your greatest asset. And so when you are a collaborative leader, like I was, learning how to listen to your team and be open minded and not, have this mindset going in that, well, I'm the leader, I'm the boss, so what I say goes. I know best. We could go down the line with that, but it's really listening, not just for the technical or the tactical side of doing the job or fulfilling the mission, but also listening to your people, asking great questions of your people to know them. I think that's the biggest thing. Like sometimes people feel like they feel like a machine because it's just you're just asking them to do, and you have no idea who they are. You don't even know if they have a dog or a parent that they're taking care of, or children, or you know what struggle they're going through, because you are just focused on getting the mission done. And I can recall a conversation very early in my career, my military career, where my leader had asked me the question, what was most important, the mission or the people? And I remember my response was people. And he was like, wrong. And he's like, it's the mission. And I said, but if you don't take care of people, they can't take care of the mission, or they won't. I believe, like, from respect, it's definitely earned. You can't just demand it. In the military, yes, there's respect that's given because of the rank that you have, because that has to be done, right? But as far as respect from um, I think from a leadership perspective, not positional, but a true leadership perspective, that is earned, and that starts with you really caring about and investing in the people that you lead. Because I think the other thing is that leaders fail to remember is that you are entrusted to lead them. This is not an entitlement. It's a privilege, um, and that you need to treat it as such.
Very well said, Dr. Cynthia. How can a woman lead with confidence when she is constantly second guessing herself? And what is the first question she asks herself when the doubt creeps in?
Mm, loaded questions. So leading with confidence, again, I will tell you that comes down to self-belief. Or do you feel that you're worthy of it, right? Um,
Mhm.
and and there's going to be times where you don't, or maybe even somebody tells you you're not good enough. But you have to know for yourself your own value. Um, and I think the other thing I would say is, for women leaders and leaders in general, but especially women leaders, um, you have to make sure you are whole. Because I think, for from my experience, and other women I've talked to, a lot of women leaders are fragmented, because you've ever heard of women being known to be able to multitask better than men sometimes. And
Yes.
it's I think it appears to be true. And I say it appears to be true because we do on the outside handle a lot. Not only are we leading at work, we're also leading in the home. And then we're leading, in our churches or our community. And we're playing all these roles. We have all these roles. If you're to ask generally a woman, who are you? They will use descriptors. They'll say, "Oh, I'm a mother, I'm a wife, I'm a caregiver, I'm a community leader, I'm whatever." But if you ask, but who is Cynthia? Who's who is Daniel? Who are you at your core? And you'd be surprised how many people can't really answer that. They struggle with that, because it's not something they really um, define themselves outside of their roles. So, confidence comes from truly knowing who you are. Confidence comes from um, being certain and being anchored as well. I think it's a lot of times your confidence, sometimes people tie it to their competence. Because, like, for instance, when you know what you're doing, it's easy to, like, come across very confident. But when there's something that you've never done before, you know, um, some things you can't fake till you make it, right? You just have to, it's an inner, it's an inner, um, I say a spirit that comes across through confidence. And it's just from knowing yourself very well and from having the right mindset to know that you can do things.
The right mindset indeed. Dr. Cynthia, before we wrap up the discussion for today, I'm inviting you to please do listen to my other podcast, people. My other podcast, because my abstract essay is already in sixth season, abstract poetry in third season, and of course my book 101 review in sixth season too, comedy 101 in fourth season, and my food 101 in sixth season as well. Geography 101, love letters, movie 101 review, music 101 are in fifth season, science 101, sex 101 in its fourth season, and of course my baby podcast trivia 101, Motivation 101, Spiritual Awakening 101, Entrepreneurship 101, Law 101, Mental Health 101, Coaching 101, and of course, my Bible Verses 101. Please listen to them wherever you listen your podcasts. So, Dr. Cynthia, you've been a guest on a various shows, and how we're speaking with you. What is one of the questions you wish interviewers would ask you about women in leadership but never do?
Mm, I would say the one question I wish we ask is, do you believe you're worthy?
Mm.
Mhm.
Interesting. Dr. Cynthia. So, can you please invite our listeners to support your advocacy, your business, or whatever projects that you're doing right now?
Yeah, they can always find me on what I'm doing on www.uncaged.solutions.com. There's a retreat coming up. We have a book coming out, and so many good
Mm.
things happening. So, yeah, check us out.
Yes, people, less about Dr. Cynthia Coy, because if you support her for sure, more and more empowering advocacy like this will rise. So I have one more question, Dr. Cynthia. If a woman listening to this takes away only one actionable strategy to move from overwhelm to overflow, starting tomorrow morning, what do you hope that strategy is?
Strategy is to set aside time for them to focus on themselves and reflect really about who they are and who they want to be and how they're going to get there.
Certainly, yes. So, Dr. Cynthia Coy, thank you for empowering women all over the world. Again, on Abstract Essay, we salute you and keep up the good work. And thank you
Thank
so
you.
much for your time.
Thank you.
Monica people, see you soon.